AC Milan have pulled off one of the biggest transfer coups of all time by signing arguably the best centre-back in the world, Leonardo Bonucci. Of course, if you look at their entire history, Milan should be capable of producing such deals. After Real Madrid, they belong in a whole raft of teams with a legitimate claim of being the second biggest club in the entire history of the game. However, after finishing 8th, 10th, 7th and 6th in the past 4 seasons, you'd forgive fans of the Rossoneri for thinking the days of world-class players gracing the San Siro were over. Instead, Milan, alongside their bitter rivals Inter, have been given a new lease of life due to recent takeovers. Along with the success of Juventus both domestically and in Europe, plus an influx of money in Italy, I believe we're about to enter Serie A's most dominant period since the Seven Sisters. Seven Sisters? What's that? It's when Italy legitimately had 7 teams contending for the titles in the 1990s. As you would expect, it included the traditional top 3 of Juventus, AC Milan and Inter Milan, but also Lazio, Roma, Parma and Fiorentina. You could technically include Napoli and Sampdoria making 9, although their peak was in the late 80s and by the late 90s they had both been relegated. They also dominated Europe far greater than La Liga is today. Between 1989 and 1999, an Italian side had featured in all but 2 of the Champions League finals and had won every single UEFA Cup in that decade except for 3 years, producing a litany of Ballon d'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year award winners. Quite simply, the greatest decade any league has seen in football. That is an opinion I will fight you for. Just to clarify, I am not saying Serie A will return to that level of strength. Just if given a few years, it might become the best league in Europe once more. Why? Here's 4 reasons why. Juventus have been doing a mighty fine job of flying the Italian flag whilst their rivals have been meandering. Their domestic dominance of 6 straight Scudettos and 3 consecutive Coppa Italias have been backed up by 2 Champions League final outings in the past 3 years, showing that they aren't winning in Italy due to weak opposition. They boast the best defence in the world, and whilst that claim is probably under threat due to Dani Alves and Bonucci leaving, Juve have suffered worse when Pirlo, Tevez and Vidal all left in one summer and Paul Pogba left 2 years later. In both cases they bounced right back, and it's because they have routinely shown themselves to be the smartest club in the transfer market, something they have proved once again by signing Douglas Costa for peanuts. The past 6 years, they have been managed by Antonio Conte and now Max Allegri, 2 of the best managers in the world, suggesting that the hierarchy who run Juve are highly competent at their jobs. I don't know about you, but for me, Juventus are still among Europe's top 5 teams. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that AC Milan were taken over by a multi-billion Chinese investment group who are living up to all expectations by signing some of the world's most talented youngsters in the game, filling out weak areas of the team with experienced Serie A performers, all of which has been topped off by the marquee signing of Bonucci and potentially the return of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who used to be a youth player at Milan. Speaking of youth, Milan already have a core of young, exciting talent to work with, albeit surrounded by a lot of mediocrity. I'm going to take you guys back to April 2017. The new owner's first game was the Milanese derby, which exposed a creaky defence going 2-0 behind, being upheld only by the brilliant Donnarumma, but also saved by Suso, inspiring a young attack full of enthusiasm and potential, helping Milan to equalise in the 7th minute of injury time. That was a good game full of drama. Fast forward to today, the aging underachievers on high wages have been marginalised, leaving the likes of Donnarumma, Romagnoli, Suso and Locatelli to form the basis of a great team. In Vincenzo Montella, they've got one of the up-and-coming managers in the game, something Milan have not had since Max Allegri left the club. He took Fiorentina from a mid-table outfit to a side that finished just outside the Champions League spots for several seasons. Since he's left, they've dropped back down to the usual position. His career as a player and coach depicts him as a loyal person and the perfect person to lead Milan. The same goes for Luciano Spalletti, who joins Inter Milan from Roma after narrowly coming second to Juventus. In fact, in the past 2 seasons, on aggregate Roma have finished 15 points behind Juve. Although I have to say, his job is a lot more difficult than what he's previously encountered, as Inter have jumped from one crisis to another since Jose Mourinho has left. Inter's billionaire investor came a year earlier than their rivals Milan and spared no expense, spending more than most in Europe. Despite their lowly position, it can't be seen as a waste of money however. Gagliardini will be an Italy international for the next decade, mark my words. Ivan Perisic and Candreva can be frustrating high-risk chances, but the end product is there, whilst João Mario has shown his quality in spurts. Adding the existing lot of Samir Handanovic and Mauro Icardi, both of which are arguably among the top 10 in their positions, then like Milan, the basis for a great team is there. Inter just need to stop appointing weak-minded managers who cannot deal with a troublesome bunch of players, Icardi, I'm looking at you, as well as an expectant fan base. Good news on that front is Spalletti is as ballsy as they come. A big part of why he allowed his contract at Roma to expire is because he had fallen out with the larger-than-life figure Francesco Totti. Despite leading Roma to their highest ever points total and goals scored, fans frantically booed Spalletti for not picking Totti. If Spalletti can use his disciplinarian tactics to whip Inter into shape, expect them to challenge for the title. The third reason is Roma. Now this isn't related to a takeover, but rather their appointment of the world's best technical director of football, Monchi. For those of you who don't know who he is, Monchi has been director of football of Sevilla since 2000, when the club was relegated with record debts. He was tasked with two objectives: develop the club's academy, plus expanding the scouting network, and boy did he overachieve given the limited resources he was working with. Sevilla's youth system has seen the likes of Sergio Ramos, Antonio Puerta, rest in peace, Jose Antonio Reyes, Jesus Navas, Diego Capel and many others, whilst a worldwide scouting network of over 700 has seen Sevilla nab the likes of Dani Alves, Ivan Rakitic, Sedu Keita, Julio Baptista, Luis Fabiano, Carlos Bacca and many more for dirt cheap prices before selling them on for all they were worth. Despite underspending compared to their rivals, in over 17 years, they won 11 trophies, including winning the Europa League 5 times, and nearly winning La Liga, losing it on the last day after leading it for so long. The secret to their success was Monchi reinvesting the money they recuperated from sales into the next batch of players who propelled Sevilla to success. Now granted, Roma have just sold key members of their squad to meet financial fair play regulations. Roma generally have greater access to finances than Monchi would at Sevilla. So as long as Roma have the ambition to keep the rest of their squad together, plus allow Monchi the time to add top talent, there's no reason Roma can't have the success they enjoyed in the mid-80s and early 2000s. The final reason why Serie A is proud to make a comeback is the increased TV deal. The Italian league is currently sitting on the third most lucrative deal in the world, and that contract is due to expire at the end of the up and coming season. The likes of Napoli, who usually form part of the chasing pack, have been able to spend slightly more than they have in recent years. If they're able to put a couple deals together, there's no reason why they couldn't have a sustained run in Europe or in the league. In recent years, Fiorentina have made a Europa League semi-final, Lazio have won the Coppa Italia and then lost the final this year versus Juventus, and Napoli have for the second season in a row pushed Juventus all the way in Serie A before eventually settling for second last season and third this season. Is Serie A primed for a comeback? In my opinion, it may not be immediate, but the building blocks are certainly in place. With Barcelona and Atletico Madrid in slightly precarious positions, Borussia Dortmund being quite unambitious, and the way the Premier League sides and PSG generally waste money, there is space at the top of European football. Have your say in the comment section, and don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notification of future uploads. Till next time, ciao.